BMW has always been a brand that promises excitement. Rear-wheel drive balance, powerful engines, sharp steering, and a strong motorsport image made BMW one of the most desirable car manufacturers in the world. For many drivers, owning a BMW feels like stepping into something special, something engineered for people who love driving. But there is another side to this story that longtime owners, mechanics, and enthusiasts know very well. Not every BMW is built to last. Some models became famous not for their driving pleasure, but for constant breakdowns, unexpected failures, and repair bills that quickly exceed the value of the car itself. Over the years, BMW pushed technology aggressively. New engines, advanced electronics, experimental transmissions, and complex systems often arrived before they were fully refined. On paper, these innovations looked impressive. In real life, many of them turned ownership into a stressful and expensive experience. Today, we're breaking down the 5 BMW models that developed the worst reputation for long-term reliability. These cars are discussed endlessly by owners and mechanics for one reason: they fail in predictable, repeatable, and very costly ways. This is not about hating the brand. It's about understanding where BMW went too far, too fast. Let's begin. 1. BMW 7 Series E65 and E66. When BMW introduced the E65 Generation 7 series, the company wanted to redefine luxury sedans. This model was bold, futuristic, and completely different from anything BMW had built before. Inside, it introduced a new digital philosophy that replaced traditional buttons with centralized control systems. At the time, it looked like the future. Unfortunately, that future arrived before it was ready. Owners quickly discovered that the electronics were fragile and unpredictable. Warning lights would appear without explanation. Comfort systems would stop working randomly. Software updates sometimes fixed one issue while creating another. What should have been a flagship luxury experience often felt like living with a permanent beta version. Mechanical problems added to the frustration. The V8 engine suffered from oil consumption issues that worsened over time. Valve stem seals would fail, causing smoke on startup and increasing oil usage dramatically. Cooling system components aged poorly, and automatic transmissions showed early signs of wear under the weight and torque of the vehicle. Even today, mechanics often describe these cars as extremely difficult to diagnose. Problems are rarely isolated. One failure often triggers another. Owning an E65 without a large repair budget is not ownership, it's survival. 2. BMW 3 Series 335i with N54 engine. On paper, the 335i looked like a dream car. A turbocharged inline-six, strong acceleration, and everyday usability made it one of the most attractive BMWs of its era. It offered performance close to an M car without the aggressive styling or price. The problem was not the idea, it was the execution. The N54 engine was BMW's first attempt at a modern twin-turbo gasoline engine. While powerful and tunable, it suffered from several critical weaknesses. High-pressure fuel pumps failed far earlier than expected, often leaving drivers stranded without warning. Injectors were sensitive and expensive, and many owners replaced them multiple times. Carbon buildup became another serious issue. Because of the direct injection system, intake valves accumulated deposits that caused rough idle, misfires, and power loss. Cleaning was not optional, it became routine maintenance. Turbochargers themselves were not immune either. Wastegate rattle, boost leaks, and premature wear were common complaints. Over time, what began as an exciting sports sedan turned into a car that demanded constant attention. For enthusiasts willing to accept the risk, the 335i can be thrilling. For everyone else, it is a reminder that early technology often comes with hidden costs. 3. BMW X5 E53 with twin-turbo V8. Luxury SUVs are expected to combine comfort, performance, and durability. The E70 generation BMW X5 promised all three, especially in V8 form. Unfortunately, this is where ambition collided with reality. The twin-turbo V8 engine delivered impressive power, but heat management became its greatest weakness. Turbochargers sat deep within the engine bay, creating extreme temperatures that accelerated wear. Oil consumption increased rapidly, and timing components showed premature aging. Many owners reported engine failures long before what would be considered acceptable for a premium vehicle. Cooling system problems, fuel delivery issues, and sensor failures added layers of complexity. Repairs were rarely simple and often required extensive labor. Beyond the engine, the vehicle's suspension and drivetrain added more headaches. Air suspension components failed unexpectedly. Transfer cases developed vibrations and clunks. Electronic systems controlling driving modes and comfort features were prone to glitches. For many owners, the reality was harsh. The cost of ownership rose faster than the vehicle depreciated. What started as a luxury SUV often ended as a financial burden. 4. BMW M5 E60 with V10 engine. Few cars represent BMW's engineering ambition, like the E60 M5. A naturally aspirated V10 in a four-door sedan is something the automotive world may never see again. The sound, the performance, and the driving experience are unforgettable. But unforgettable does not mean practical. The V10 engine was designed with motorsport priorities, not long-term daily reliability. Rod-bearing wear became a known issue, often requiring preventative replacement to avoid catastrophic failure. Throttle actuators failed regularly, forcing the car into limp mode without warning. The transmission did not help matters. The automated manual gearbox struggled with smoothness and longevity. Hydraulic failures were common, and repair costs were extreme. This is not a car that breaks occasionally. It is a car that demands continuous maintenance. Owners who skipped preventative work often paid the price with engine or transmission failures. The E60 M5 is a masterpiece of engineering, but also a warning about what happens when performance is prioritized over durability. 5. BMW X5 E53 with early V8 engines. The first-generation BMW X5 introduced the brand to the SUV market. It was sporty, capable, and stylish for its time. However, early V8 versions suffered from growing pains. Fuel system components aged poorly, leading to leaks and pressure issues. Cooling systems required frequent attention, and overheating was not uncommon. Electrical systems, especially in early production years, developed faults that were difficult to trace. Suspension components wore quickly under the vehicle's weight, and transfer cases became a frequent source of complaints. Owners often found themselves fixing one issue only to discover another shortly after. While later revisions improved some aspects, early V8 E53 models gained a reputation for being unreliable long-term vehicles unless meticulously maintained. Final thoughts. BMW has created some of the most exciting cars in automotive history. But excitement does not always equal reliability. The models discussed today share one thing in common: they pushed boundaries faster than durability could keep up. These cars are not inherently bad. They are simply demanding. Without deep knowledge, preventative maintenance, and financial preparation, ownership can become overwhelming. Understanding these weaknesses does not make you anti-BMW. It makes you an informed buyer. If this breakdown helped you see BMW ownership from a realistic perspective, support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. It helps us create more honest, in-depth content that saves enthusiasts from expensive mistakes. Now, tell us in the comments, which BMW do you think deserves a spot on this list, and what was your experience like? Your story might help the next buyer avoid a costly decision.